Okay, well there. So, I'm going to play a mission blind and discuss the tactics, techniques, procedures, and general doctrine I'll use to approach it. I've been given a short briefing by my friend who created this mission. So, just going to jump right into it and see what happens. Okay, so, as far as I am aware, we have been tasked with rescuing a CBRN detachment with an additional Stryker squad. This would be the squad's ICV. Let's see, so we do have immediate access to them. We don't have to establish contact, which is always nice. What do we have here? 2 fire teams and a HQ. Guessing the HQ is probably going to be the CBRN detachment, or at least the best representation we have of it. It's a bit odd. The squad split into fire teams. 2 scout teams. What's with the I won't ask. Okay. This is the first map he has ever created, to my knowledge, so that it has a few minor issues. Surprising. Alright. Let's do a quick terrain analysis here. We have for Strikers, 1 platoon, which is going to consist of an HQ, 3 rifle squads, or in this case, rifle squads. Just noted that it's a reconnaissance vehicle. Yep, 3 rifle squads, 1 MG squad, and our HQ. And first, that squad consists, the MG squad consists of 2 already detached teams. They have an SLs attached to one of the teams. Okay, let's get started with some terrain analysis. There isn't much to be said. We have kind of main city here, or town block, and a reverse slope under which our vehicles are present. They've already sight lines onto these structures, so I don't know as to how much risk our current element within the city is in. I'd imagine to be somewhat significant, given the fact that they've supposedly been ambushed. That our Strikers aren't very disposed upon being started out here is a bit odd. You'd think we'd have been given a larger starting area. I'm going to leave one of the Strikers detached to act as a base of fire and find a route to maneuver. Base of fire Strikers probably going to be the one with both MGs and command within it, as they'll have a better position from which to communicate with the other squads and lay down fires. For that, though, it would be best to let's do brief analysis, see if we have any other positions. My immediate tasking here is going to be to defend this building, which is going to be both internal and external, isolating avenues of approach, such as this route here, to prevent the enemy from maneuvering on these dudes inside this building will significantly reduce risk to that element. So we just want to have fires available to engage any of these structures and prevent maneuver onto our defensive unit here. Let's see. I think their greatest risk in this situation is going to be, at least their greatest immediate risk is going to be some sort of ambush from these structures, which are obscured. If something comes from that direction, I'll have no means of assisting them or supporting any attacks from those structures. It means we're going to have to engage in some maneuver into alternate defensive positions. So no way I'm going to be able to move that far. The infantry into the scrub sounds like a nightmare. I believe we're against unconventionals, which means our general goal here, as far as maneuver and schemes of fire are concerned, is to be at as far of a distance as possible to permit us to utilize our superior weapon systems to suppress the enemy and destroy them at range, which they do not have the luxury of. Okay. I'm going to see if I can get these two space commands by doing that. Yep. Okay, they just stacked in the same window, combat mission style. Are these set? They're set to hide. I guess that's fine. I'm going to let these two come up. I do want to have an idea of what we're dealing with here. I don't know if they're going to be shuttling back. We will see. If they're set to hide, they'll engage any unconventionals moving into the structure without engaging prior suppression. Hopefully shifting their fires and or diverting them from our CBRN element to this detachment of 2 on the second story. Let's see. I'm not entirely certain as to how I'm going to be able to maneuver nicely here. We're going to have to accept either significant risk to move to that building quickly, or slowly bound with dismounted infantry. I don't like either solution that much. I think we're going to probably use a bit of both, because I don't know what the distances are here, but like setting a Stryker up in these positions is relatively safe. I know there's just some risk of crossfire, but quite honestly, if it's a Stryker, it's not going to be under much risk. Do we have a... These are all 40 mil, it's 50 cal, 50 cal. Okay. I don't know if I want to fire the 30 mil grenades straight towards that structure, so probably going to reorder these weapon systems. There's no nice position for infantry on this side. I wouldn't want to leave them out in the open here, and moving into a building like this is just not ideal. I think we might roll infantry 2 minutes once we establish security at this side. Get this closer. I don't know if I'm going to crawl up to the crest of the hill, but there's like a miss of the bat at the moment, it seems. So I think we're just going to have to live with it. Swap the Strykers out, move the infantry into... Oh, we might leave them out. Hold on position. That should do. Okay. And we'll break down the squad.
Hold your position.
Into 2 teams. Start arranging with maneuver. Well, they actually pretty much very unintentionally start in the incorrect direction. Oh wait, what? Did they change? First arrangement's actually nicer than it used to be. Because those are proper formations. Okay, let's see. This is a difficult situation. We fundamentally need to start with reconnaissance before I can begin engaging any maneuver. So we're just going to let these infantrymen roll up. We'll go from there. Take these dudes slowly onto the edge of this. So just so we can get some eyes on. I feel like we're going to get blasted like a MG in that structure. Maybe a marksman team. Like how new guy tends to arrange things. I'm going to keep these guys in the trunk. I'm going to keep the command team of javelin, so we can take out a building if we have to. There's 5 javelins. Jesus. Oh, wait, never mind. 2. And take it out. So, current fields of fire are generally, these guys' relative phase are going to be split 12 here, down the center of this town, to about their relative 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Just effectively splitting this, bisecting this town between both MG teams, whilst having infantry on either side to secure their flanks. Whilst the ICV is going to be in a watch and shoot with the 50 cal. So we'll get started with that, and I'll also have that javelin on the line in case I need to take out a building. I don't think they're going to have a considerable arrangement of disposed positions, so our goal here is going to be to just find the few positions which they do possess and absolutely stop them. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping they don't have any vehicles, based on their being unconventionals. I presume they don't. Let's watch. Okay, so we have immediate infantry contact. They're getting blasted. They're fine. They're getting shot back. I kind of expected that, so... Okay, we're going to let this play out real quick. Before I give any word on what the hell is happening. I'm glad I took them out of that vehicle. Okay. Let's see if the condition stabilized a bit. They took 2 casualties. They're probably the ones who took most of the initial. Yeah, they're the ones who were shot first. Shame that there's not much we can do about that. Wow. Okay, that's good use of the javelin. I spurred that. I'm happy I put those infantry where I did. Holy shit. Okay, so let's see what we have. We had enemy infantry arranged in the structure. There's special. No, they're just unconventionals. All sorts of infantry bound these structures. They seem to be getting this suppressed, so I won't do anything really. I need to take these guys out immediately. It's about to take that system to knock out another vehicle. So the 50 cal on the rear Stryker onto that building. Put some suppression downrange. I'm going to see if I can move this Stryker to the side. Let's check where enemy positions are. Sucks that the slide didn't work. I think they were hit from that building. So actually, not even there. There might be an enemy position on that structure as well. They're a bit suppressed. These guys are doing fine. See if we can get some rounds down range. Going to use the big guns here. That on that building. I don't want to engage that structure with the fruity mill. It's a bit too unreliable for that. So we'll set that to keep blasting that structure. Can I shoot over each other here? Maybe. I really don't have much of a choice here. I might just have to leave it there to some fires in that building. I'm going to have them take that structure out. I should be able to see it. Yeah. That'll be a possible shot. It doesn't get caught in that foliage. The 50 cals are going to be able to take out that building with these. And we'll leave these dudes here. I wish they were more dispersed than they are, but what can you do? We'll leave them on watch and shoot for now. I'm kind of worried about that structure. I think that covers most of our immediate threats. I do want to move, but honestly, with how the enemy position's currently arranged, I don't think we're going to be able to move in any meaningful way whilst keeping fires. The worst part of this map is honestly just how close our spawn is relative to the enemy. If it weren't for this proximity, we'd have been able to arrange ourselves in a far better position and maneuver with reductional efficacy than we have been given the opportunity here. I called it at the beginning that this disposition would be an issue, and sure enough, his mission has broken the unspoken combat mission rule of never having a spawn in which the enemy or you can immediately engage with one another, which is why I presumed it would be a bit gentler on the uptake here, and that we'd have more enemies inwards. It seems I was wrong. I'm still worried about these trees. We'll see as what occurs or these, what conspires. So they're getting shredded. There's a javelin. I'm going to put another javelin into that. I might put one on here. We'll see. I'm going to shift the further. This is honestly just a glorified range day, if anything. I'd like to get these infantry out of the way. I don't love where they are at the moment. There's also, like, nowhere I could put them that's kind of even remotely safe. I guess we could start rolling into this hill, but, like, it's just dangerous. I don't even know as to what's suppressing them. It's hard to get any good dispersion here. I would never voluntarily place myself in such a cramped position with so many guns in one area, but again, I don't really have a choice, and they don't really have the firepower to make me immediately pop smoke and try to do something about it, so, you know, here we are. I'm just shifting fires to spit freeze. That building. We're empty.
Check your fire! Hold fire!
We'll keep the gun on this building.
Check your fire! Hold fire!
you're about to watch that structure back there get absolutely lit up. The 30 mil in this game is just terrifying. Mark 18s are less accurate than they should be. So the modeling's a bit exaggerated, which results in, once he's reloaded, chaos which you shall observe. I need to move the Stryker over to that building. Although honestly, with the infantry we have here, it should be possible to suppress. Took an injury, they're pinned. They're going to move to square. Maybe a bit far? I don't know, they're kind of overshooting. We did that I lost a Stryker immediately just makes this much harder. Building one on that building. We have the M230 to compensate, so I'm going to move the M230 to keep it shooting at. Shift fire on the Stryker to that building. And move the, we need to move one. I can't risk moving the Mark 18 Stryker here. It's just too dangerous. So Mark 18 Stryker is going to stay. This one's going to move. It's worse for dispersion, which is the one reason as to why I don't want to do this, but I don't want to leave a Stryker caught in a situation which I can't shoot. So I'm just going to roll it over this way. And onto this side. We can hopefully handle that enemy position. Can we do anything from this side, maybe? No, there's nothing we can do. It might be... no, it's not going to be worth it. We'll decide. I'm going to set these dudes to shoot at this building. Not pinned enough to be incapable of firing. So we'll just do that. I could move infantry. That is an option. Actually, I should probably move infantry. We should move 2 more squads. The issue is finding a good route. I did say that I wanted something over here. That means I'm also going to have to sacrifice a bit of firepower for security onto that tree line. Generally, if I had the other Stryker, I'd be using that to watch the tree line. We're just not as efficient as that's possible, so... deploy the infantry. I'm going to roll one of the Strikers back. I don't know if they'll be able to navigate this, we'll see. We're going to take a shallow angle initially, do that here. Okay. Actually, it might be more aggressive, we'll just go straight up to this building. If I do that, the Stryker is going to be more protected. Although it's going to make it harder to position onto this side. Which is in itself just too dangerous for it to do. we'll do that. And then we'll do infantry out the back. Let's break this down. To about here, I'd say. We'll start them off. Behind Stryker in these positions, I can distribute them. If he ever gains the will to shoot again, I'm going to put him on that building. Just throw briefly over there for 45 seconds. Done. Hoping we can get fire some of these dudes. Yep, that's what I like to see. Come on, keep going. Yeah, I kind of thought that. That building's collapsed. Didn't realize he still had it set to fire. Okay, that was quite nice. I liked all of that. Let's just quickly get no casualties, or I think one dude died. I don't think we ever do this for a single CBRN team, but you know, here we are. At least not as we have here. Hitting this with our towers without having any other supporting assets would be advisable. That building's practically just knocked out at this point. He's just dead. That grenade goes through. I think he took a grenade. Yep. No, that was in 50 cal. Or maybe a 230? I can't tell. That was the 50. One of those dudes is dead. They're still suppressing now. I am shocked. These guys made it out alive. Let's see as to what we can do now. There's no way to nicely approach this here. I don't have the kind of area for maneuver that I'd like to have. I'm not really seeing much reason to maneuver. It's just hard to, you know, because most of my fire support's fixed into this. So, with fixed fire support assets, life's just a bit hard. So we're going to get these guys out of the truck quickly. I think we're safe enough to do that. Nice, put down that. Yeah, I can. Two teams, one's just going to go in here, sort that out. Other team's going to stay on the side of this building. I think we might creep them in around the edge. We'll see. It just depends on what would be safe. For now, we'll leave them by that tree in the field. I think we're going to move the Stryker over. this position. No line of sight. You are surely just. What? What do you... What? Oh, God. We're going to do something real fancy here. Vehicle safety. And hook it in around like this. Okay. Crust, which is I'd like to see. There's one that engagement as well. Okay, that vehicle is shut up. That generally, this is where it helps to have something a bit more intelligent than combat mission AI, right? I'm shocked we didn't die there. Cringe watching that Stryker decide it was still an okay idea to continue driving around this path that I gave it. These guys got totally suppressed. Shows you the efficacy of infantry. Took out everyone in this building, which I like to see. And we have no other engagements. That building just collapsed. We'll secure this in a minute here. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Don't know if there's much I could have done. Maybe moving out some scouts to the side to minimize people, but like, I don't know. It's just rough. Going here would have worked as well. Well, we got the victory. Lost 6 men. 2 of them died in that initial Stryker detonation. There's nothing I could have done about that. Another 2 died as we came over the hill. Again, that was 3 actually died as we came over the hill. That was just a result of us being first to move in such a compact area so close to the enemy with such a large force. So that too wasn't really something I could have solved. Might have helped to be more aggressive, but there's just no way of knowing as to whether or not doing so would be safer. Since in the case of the enemy having better anti-tank assets, perhaps even some dude with an RPG out here, rolling a Stryker down this way fast would just result in it being detonated. They had an APGM up there, and I tried to shift on that side, or put an RPG ambush over there. So it is necessary to be in some way deliberate when you have so few assets, but even that does have some risks. In a situation in which you just can't conduct any reconnaissance, in which the enemy can immediately engage you, it's sort of just a defensive position. We don't really have much choice in the way of how we're going to conduct the engagement here, so this was really just a range day of just smashing the enemy. There's not much to be said then. We would have been able to take out that position fine. These dudes ran back here like a bunch of cowards. Yeah, most of the enemy's dead now, so we'll call that a mission success. It's not the greatest map I've played, but it was somewhat fun. In the future, the one thing that really does need to be changed is the map size to allow for more room for maneuver and to be able to select different approaches. Some terrain variation would be nice too, which would be afforded if there was some more space on these sides of the map. Plus, it's like impossible to move a security element over to the side, being as first in this small region as possible. As you can see, my security element just stayed in reserve in the Stryker and did nothing. So, yep, that's about how I'd consider this mission. Maybe a 6 out of 10 for combat mission scenarios. It was fine, and it's certainly a nice little platoon level operation, though perhaps one that either necessitates, again, that more space to permit for reconnaissance, and also give it a bit of time pressure in terms of how we're moving to get into defense positions to attack the enemy. And it might be nice to also like arrange some sort of ambush or something along the perimeter to make the enemy position more dynamic. AI plans are good too if you don't want the enemy to just be a bunch of static targets. So yeah, I think that'll be about all. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time if we have a next time.